carefully, there is a single line on this page that talks about a significant issue that's coming for the state of Colorado. It's this one right here, but I am going to hide it because we're going to talk about some modifications of some tax expenditures that are coming to Colorado. Now, this is big for a couple different reasons. Tiger and I have been sitting here kind of just chit-chatting a little bit about this. I pulled up some information and thought that it was important enough for you that live in or around or do business with entities that are in Colorado. Why is this important? Well, because we talk about taxes, right? A lot of people talk about SHTF. People talk about confiscation. One thing that I've told Tiger about is I am absolutely watching what happens with taxes, because taxes, I believe, is going to how they implement some of these items. Now, this is a little bit different from just being about precious metals. For those of you who are coming on and thinking this is just precious metals, guess what? It's actually a little bit more. So what's going on, Tiger? How you doing, bud? Good to see you.
Not so bad. A little concerned once we started getting into this. And I think a lot of other people start seeing some reasons for concern also.
And again, it's not panic set in, but it could definitely cause some issues with bullion and coin dealers. If you have a coin shop or you deal with coin shops that are in and around the Colorado area, you probably are going to want to watch this. There's just a lot of important information. So I'm going to start with this. This is the modification. And if we kind of go through here, you're going to see that this is a whole bunch of different things regarding some of the information that's there, right? Tax ordinance, you'll see things that are here regarding income tax for ages 65 and older, survival spouses, income tax deductions for wages that are not tied to corporations, deduction from tax liability. You scroll down here, 7, 12, and 13. The electric bicycle tax credit. Interesting. We just talked about you getting an electric bike not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening with that? And I want you to kind of notice a pattern, folks. Hey, just pay attention to the pattern. Motor vehicle tax increases from $1,000 to $2,000 for certain vehicles sold during the 2027 tax year. Why is that important? Because this goes into effect January 1st, 2027. And so if you guys get taxed a certain amount for your vehicles each year, it's going up. You're going to be paying additional monies. As well as if you have, depending upon the vehicle, the nicer models, there could be up to a $2,500 increase in tax for certain ones leased on or before the 1st of January 2024. Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting stuff. But we're going to slide on down here. We're going to look at this highlighted one, and we're going to talk about what this means. So here's what I want to do. I want to look at this and just read it for what it says. So Tiger, read this and tell me what you think this says.
Section 17 repeals the precious metal and bullion coin sales and use tax exemption effective January 1, 2027.
Yeah, okay. So let's think about this. Repeals the precious metals and bullion coins. So this is only affecting precious metals, right?
That's what I take from it.
Wrong.
Okay.
This is coins. All coins. All bullion.
Okay.
All precious metals. And how do I know that? Well, I know that because of this thing that I'm going to show you right now. So in order for us to understand what the importance of that is, we have to look at another page. There we go. All right. So what does the tax expenditure do? This is the tax expenditure that was created. Let me scroll up a little bit so you can see this whole thing. July 2021. Now, many of you, if you followed the channel at all, this is about the time that I started to come on the scene. When I came in, this was a big deal. Everybody was praising Colorado for creating this exemption and really trying to help out the bullion and the coin dealers. This really was a big deal. So I've been following this ever since I came into YouTube, not necessarily just with Colorado, just as a whole. So when we look at this, they talk about this. They could not be determined. Absolute BS. They can. And I'll talk to you a little bit about why that's BS. The key conclusion, this is really important. The exemption is commonly applied by bullion and coin dealers. Done. Okay. Provide similar tax treatment on purchase of bullion and coins for other investments, stocks, bonds, not subject to sales tax. The exemption also helps the state bullion and coin retail industry to remain competitive. Well, guess what? This is going to hurt that, because what that bill does is repeal this document. Now, why is that important? Because when we look at the precious metal and coin exemption sales, exempts all sales, storage, use, or consumption of precious metal bullion coins from state sales tax. Well, guess what? State sales tax is coming back January 1st. We're going to go back to the other document. I'm going to tell you why that's a big deal. But it's saying that anything associated with this particular one is going to be annulled. They're going to get rid of it. It's going to be done, right? The state of Colorado is determining that they are going to divorce the bullion and coin dealers, and they're going to go after the money again. Prices are so high that there is a massive money. Now, Tiger, just a little while ago, you said that you didn't have a number, that there was no way. Well, if you read the report, and that's what I have in here, it's report 2021 TE22. I'm going to copy this and put this in chat, because that is what I showed you just a second ago. This is the number that if you want to look at this, make sure that you understand that's the document that this thing is talking about getting rid of. It's for the removal of the existing precious metal bullion and coin exemption. So it's a lot of other stuff, but line 17 is the one that you want to watch. So what does this affect? Well, it is estimated at that time. Now, remember, in the report, they said, well, we can't really identify, right? Right here. Could not determine. Well, that's bullshit. Use the language. But I say this because it states right here that the estimated cost of the exemption, while undefined totally, reduced the exemption cost of after tax on bullion and coins by between 2.9 and 3.4%. Well, so let's talk about a 3% tax on bullion, a 3% tax on coins. Doesn't sound like a great deal. Well, let's talk about the cost of the bullion now.
Yeah.
Okay. So back in 2021, they estimated the state could collect as much as $29 million in revenue if it was appealed. Guess what it is today, Tiger?
Appealed?
No. Guess what the number is today?
The number of what?
Okay. Let me read that again. Let me repeat that again and see and catch this. The state estimated that in 2021, the amount of revenue that would be applied if the exemption were repealed was $29 million.
Okay.
Guess what that number is today?
More than that, because the prices of metals have gone up.
$1 billion. That's their estimate. Now, in the report that you have here, you can see quite clearly that in 2021, they said they could not determine. Oh, yeah, I promise you they can. And they absolutely knew. Now, did they know that silver and gold and the bullion sales were going to go up to where they are? Probably not. But this was something to put on to get people engaged, because, again, now it's in your system. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because it affects scalability of the market. So when you look at revenue in a situation like this, it's going to be lower than expected because your large scale investors, they moved in. They started selling more. They're tax free. Delaware, right? Wyoming, right? You just talked about Virginia, West Virginia, some of the taxes they're doing and things that they're looking at doing. This is big money for these states. And so the repealing of this tax, it could seriously jeopardize some of your small to medium businesses. But remember, folks, if you're dealing with a company, there are internet laws and sales laws that you have to pay tax according to where you purchase it. So this means that there's online sales that are probably going to decrease. So if the tax basis is $1 billion, how much of that's going to be lost in revenue to those businesses because of lost revenue online? Lost revenue in store. So this could be a very significant number, folks. So it doesn't affect just the folks in Colorado. If you work or deal with people in Colorado, there's a very high likelihood that if this is pushed through, it could be funny. Now, I'm going to put some things in chat, and I want you to think about what they say. Gold and silver bullion exempt, refined and valued by metal content. Okay, not the form that they're in. Metal content. Doesn't matter what form they're in. It's very, very important that you understand that language.
So therefore, things such as pre-33 that's going to get taxed just as much as any of the other ones.
Bomb, bomb, bomb. Here's the bomb right here, folks. Here's the bomb. Look at what I just put in chat. This is the one that matters. Legal tender coins. Oh, yeah, folks, you hear that? Legal tender coins. Exempt under this item. It includes U.S. and foreign coins that were used as money. So what was your question about pre-33?
The way I understood what was previously said is it's not going to be exempt.
Not going to be. It was before, but not anymore. Now, here's the thing. This is the real crux of it. This is what pissed off a lot of numismatists when this law came out in 2021. Numismatics items, taxable items like tokens, paper money, and checks, you still got taxed. So they were already taxing numismatic items. We talk about 1933, and we talk about the confiscation, 1965. We talk about 1972. Lynette Zing talks about 1972, and she was in the market when that was happening, and real confiscation in her lifetime, right?
Yeah.
Folks, I think this is the new confiscation. I think this is how it's going to be done, because they're going to make it so hard for anybody to reap any benefit or rewards, buying or selling, that it's going to make it hard for people to sell. And I told Tiger, and confirm me if I'm wrong, but I told you a month ago when we were talking about this, that this is what's going to start happening.
I didn't refute it at the time. I didn't argue against it.
But it's happening.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what I was expecting what's going to happen. We're going to see it taxed. Now, does it mean they might put in something that they're going to lock out the potential or probably, prevent us from buying silver? I've heard people speculate that. I can find nothing to validate that. I can find no legislation, anything that says that they're doing it. If you know of something or hear of something, let me know. Where is the ANA? You know what? They are in Colorado. Absolutely. And that is a great question, Barbara Wall. Oh, hi, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. So again, Neil, let's go back to what I said. Silver and gold bullion exempt must be refined and valued by metal content, not form. It doesn't matter. Jewelry is going to be in here too. One of the things that I talked about with Tiger, and I'll let him talk in just a minute. I apologize. I'm running because I really want to get to the crux of this before we do chit chat. It's the metals, folks. They're taxing the metals, and they've said it doesn't matter the form. They are clearly indicating in this the form is not going to matter because of that law. What I have here in front of you, this one right here. Okay. This is talking about those things. And again, as you get into the report, you'll see that, again, we talked about other numismatics and stuff. They're not eligible for the exemption. It's already there. The information that I put in here, I've basically broken this thing out for you, but it is in chat. You can go look at it. If you want to look at the document itself, I know Tiger has talked a little bit about ahead of time. That's the link to this one, and this is the link to the House bill. Go check those things out. Read them for yourself. Again, don't take my word for it. Don't take my reading for it. Go read it, assess it yourself. But what I see here is and I'm going to jump out of this screen. I'm going to jump back into the next one, and then Tiger, I'll bring you up to finish about talking about this. But this is the element right here. It repeals everything that we just talked about. And again, there are some languages here. Numismatic items were not eligible for the exemption. So you're still going to get taxed for your numismatic items. By the way, you're going to get taxed for your numismatic bullion. And for bullion, and it doesn't matter what form it's in, because of what it says. Silver and gold bullion exempt right now, January 21 or January 27. It's going to be reduced to nothing. It must be refined and valued by metal content. So the only thing that I can see that is going to be clear of this is what? Put it in chat.
Dental work? Silver and gold dental work?
Is it refined?
The way I understand it, they take silver and they mix it with other things and to put it in your teeth. I don't know what they exactly do, but that's the only, from what I can guesstimate from what we're talking about, that's the only thing that I can see that could be exempt, because it sounds like it's going to hit jewelry. It's going to hit any form of coin, old, new, foreign, domestic. So the only thing left that wasn't talked about was dental work.
But dental work is a refined bullion. Not going to pull just straight silver out of the ground, because again, silver is mined with a whole bunch of other metals. It has to be refined. Has to be broken down. The only thing that's not included in here that I could find is nuggets, raw silver and gold.
Okay.
The only thing I couldn't find in here, because it talks about it must be refined. Now, I don't know if there's a law in Colorado or not. And Neil, I'll get to your question in just a moment. I don't know if there's a law about owning certain amounts of the raw ore, the raw gold, because it's very clear in the statement I've done, must be refined in order to get that exemption. So I don't know if the unrefined metals are included in here. I can't find that. And I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but industry probably refines their own. So this isn't a tax on the industry. My assumption. So what is this?
It's going after the citizens. It sounds like it's not going after the big industries like solar panels and EVs and whatever else is being used.
So the tax is essentially what?
A tax on the citizens.
Okay. So they're making, again, folks, there may be people who know more about this, by God. Don't take it as it is. But when I saw this, and I got this from a good friend of mine who sent it to me, and I'm like, I immediately got to look into this. Pulled up the legislation, and you guys know me with legislation. I love looking at it. I love reviewing it. I love trying to understand what's going on, looking at the language, and then having conversations about it. So Neil says, but when you make jewelry, you increase the price of the metal from 100 to 500% for sale. That's only for sale. Remember, they're going to have to purchase that. So there's going to be a tax on the purchase of it. And again, it talked very clearly about refined regardless of the item you're in. If you're increasing that sales price by 500%, your tax is going to be higher, not lower. And so, yes, you will see profit margins increase as the store, but who gets screwed? It's not the store.
The customer.
It's the customer. And basically what this looks like to me is exactly what I told Tiger a little over a month ago which was they're going to price us out of it, and they're going to do it through taxes.
But the only thing that is somewhat hopeful is this is a House bill. It's not a law as of this point. So there hopefully is going to be resistance to this.
So here's the thing. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Are you ready for this?
Not really, but go ahead anyway.
House Finance. It's going to happen March 9th, Monday. Oh, by the way, it's already been introduced. It's now under consideration.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's not the rejected. It has gone through its wickets, folks. Understand what this means. It's a viable thing for them. And they're going to be talking about it Monday. So
that then brings us to the next most likely hopeful thing is the citizens in Colorado are probably going to go out of state to buy their precious metals.
what do you think we're going to be talking about for Stack Collector?
Leaving state to go get your precious metals.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make some telephone calls and maybe have a person or two on, because this is something that, again, it's going to be interesting. Washington State already did this. Yes, there's a precedent already established,
and also Maryland.
Well, but again, the point here is that this is a premise that's already there. It's not something that is, it's not novel, folks. This is already being done in certain places. Why is this a problem? Well, we're talking about silver and gold, yes, but we're also talking about numismatic items. Now, one of my strategies, much like Lynette Zhang, and for a long time, I didn't necessarily see when gold was lower, when around 2000, 333 wasn't as attractive as it is 5,000. Because now you've got that numismatic value that is going to act as that hedge should the precious metal fall. Right? That's what's nice about the pre-33. That is one of the sole contexts. And for me, that's Lynette Zhang's context, but for me, the pre-context of pre-33 is that, yes, we buy it, but there's a historical precedence there. It's also a coin, and in previous confiscations, it was not considered. It was kind of let go, the collectible. This is undoing that. This has undone all of that protection.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That is a problem. Because for those of us who were looking at pre-33 as a potential hedge against confiscation, this law, this rule, this relieving of that, the way that it's stated, may potentially, and I say potentially, because there have to be other laws associated with the little nooks and crannies, still got to look into this. But this includes numismatic bullion, i.e. collectible coins, i.e. pre-33, and all silver and gold bullion in any form that's refined.
Which would also
pretty blanket coverage, dude.
Which would also include the foreign coins as well.
You don't need to buy a pie to have a pie. You merely need a slice with enough people to make your own. Words of wisdom. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. What are your thoughts, Tiger?
I'm glad I'm not living in Colorado. The other thing is my fear is that other states might use this as what's the phrase they use? Model legislation to try to do it in their states. But if it gets enough momentum, other states are going to try to do it. Now, I'm going to go down a particular pathway. I mentioned it to you before we went live. This is being done in a state that is mostly blue, therefore they tend to love to tax. Um, so I'm wondering if there's going to be a dichotomy of which state does which based upon their political matrix and how they view sound money, or is that going to be used uh, universally, or even picked up by the feds? Then they're making every state do it. So there's a lot of areas for me to be concerned.
And again, I am not doom and gloom. Okay, this is not something that I am, oh my God, the end of the world is nigh. But this is something that definitely needs to be thought about, because again, if you're going into a coin shop and you are looking um, at a company, hold on just a second, let me get there real quick.
I know our one buddy's going to be really super unhappy when he finds out about this.
Who's that?
Long live coins. He lives in Colorado.
Yeah, well, and again, a lot of people, and folks, I want you to think about this. If you do, and he does the spin and bin, right?
Yes.
He's going to have to claim taxes on that, because if he doesn't, he could be held legally liable for it.
On what, the spinning bin, or you been talking about?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. And so, um, and we know, because of people that have said something, and I won't mention who this was. You'll know as soon as I say this, that he got a letter that says, basically, we're watching your channel. You better be on the up and up when it comes to tax and stuff like that.
Is that because he plays music on it?
Okay, no, listen to what I said again. Okay, there is
Mhm.
another channel that we know of, and I'm not going to say his name,
Okay.
that received a letter that says, basically, from the IRS, we're watching your.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, folks, anybody out there who thinks they're free from this is foolish. And so, if you are in Colorado and you buy one, you're going to have to pay the tax on it. If you are buying from a shop in Colorado, in person or online, you're going to be paying the tax on it. The question is, in the scope of things, is the tax going to be a big deal?
Hmm.
Right? The answer is we don't know yet.
Well, we
If
don't.
it's only 3%, it's a pretty small tax. I mean, state tax for food in some states is 6, 7, 8%,
Hmm.
but it adds up.
It does. And there's
And
no
so,
guarantee that they won't change the percentage at a later point once, they get their foot in the door. They want the other foot in the door.
well, we already know that buying 2 ounces puts you over the $10,000 limit.
True.
So you're really going to have to watch that tax. Is that tax going to put you over the limit?
And there's a lot of truth to that.
So there's going to be a lot of little nuance things that people are going to have to be paying attention to. You're going to have to know where you're buying from. You're going to have to know what your state requires. But here's the thing, and Amy, taxes and extra expense, absolutely. And I'm not doom and gloom, okay? And this is, Tiger talks about this. I'm not a prepper. I believe in being prepared, okay? I'm not a stacker, but I believe in stacking. I am a numismatist. I am a coin collector. I am a history buff. I love the legal acts of coins. This is what I like to do. I like to teach about it. Vote for Pedro and I were talking the other day, and the one thing that I will never, ever, ever do on my channel, because I want to be as transparent as possible, I will turn down any affiliation. I will turn down any sponsorship. I will not sell. I'll trade with people, I'll buy from periodic people, but I will not buy and sell through my channel. It'll always be free of any of that, because all I want you guys to get from this is knowledge. There's no vested gain in this. And I want to make sure you guys have the right information. Again, not doom and gloom. It's just making sure you have the information you need to make educated assessments on what you need to do. Some of you are going to go, well, this really sucks for me. Some of you are going to be like, well, this doesn't affect me at all yet. But the precedent is set, and we're seeing it go over. Neil, Colorado is a blue state. They do have some red, but they swing periodically. Well, let me say that the color of the state swings. I didn't mean to say Colorado people.
Yeah, and this is from the man who says that words are important.
Tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is not. Tax avoidance is not if you do it within the letter of the law. Let's be clear about that. I know exactly what you're trying to say. Mm-hmm. If it's legal, then yes, it's fine. Otherwise, I do not recommend it. Swinger state is Florida. Yeah, well, yeah, we have some areas, Austin, that have that too. But but again, a lot of your major city centers are turning blue. Texas is blood red, but all our city centers are blue. Matter of fact, I just got notification not too long ago about losing a Republican seat to the Democrat senator who just won the new position there. Jimmy something or other. I can't remember. But that's never here nor there. The thing is that we're talking about precious metals and coin collecting. So I do know. Never mind. Hello. Did you catch that, Tiger?
No.
Okay, that's a call out to Nirvana. Anyway, okay. What are your thoughts, folks? I'm seeing a lot of things in here again about wasted funds, many levels. Trading is always fun. Oh, by the way, yeah, you might want to watch this if you like to trade, because there's some trade and tax and other stuff in there, FYI. There's a whole lot of stuff. Tobacco, oil, cigarette. Talk to him about some of the stuff that you saw when I showed you this.
Oh, yeah.
No worries.
A lot of it had to deal with commodities.
Indeed.
A great deal of it had to deal with commodities. I was seeing it about oil, fossil fuels. I didn't catch the one about electric bicycles. Probably read it a little too fast, but I'm not surprised. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. They want to tax for wildfire hazard mitigation expenses. I mean, for crying out loud, you want to start taxing the onboard children as well. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
The collection and remittance of nicotine product distributors.
Mm-hmm.
1.1% tax increase. And some of these are pretty big.
Electric lawn equipment.
I mean, yeah. Check this one out.
You're going to, if they have their way, they're going to hit you up for your carbon footprint. Then if you go to an electric powered lawn equipment, you're going to get taxed on that way. So you're getting taxed coming or going. The only way you're going to get around it maybe is buy yourself a couple goats and put them in the yard.
That way, when Tiger walks by, they can say, "Hey, Dad."
God almighty.
3% deduction, inventory cigarette wholesalers. Again, there's a lot of stuff here. Rail, oil, commodities, tax credits, gasoline. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here regarding a whole bunch of stuff. Folks, if you don't And I'm not asking you to become experts or go crazy with it, but follow your General Assembly. Listen to what your General Assembly is doing. Go through it. Barbara Wall's like, oh my gosh, come on. Dad joke. That was horrible. Yeah, but Barbara, remember, dad jokes are only dad jokes when they're apparent. But follow your assemblies. And again, I've already dropped that in there. But it is important to kind of understand and keep in touch with some of the tax expenditures. Now, there's some good things happening in Texas, but we also have some bad things happening here. I'll touch on those in another time. It's just something that I wanted to bring everybody's attention. I don't want to take up too much more time on this. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of heads up, give you the information, do an overview, talk with Tiger about it really quickly, and provide you the information to do your own research and make up your own mind. Go listen to everybody else, but do so with an open mind. Listen to what they're saying, ask them for their resources, and go validate and verify. I've provided you mine. And where did they come from? The source. They didn't come from another channel. They didn't come from an article. I went to the source. So if you want to know if I'm making it up, well, guess what? Here's the General Assembly.
He went black.
Yes, I do. And here's the report. So I went back to the source. So I didn't pull things from articles. I didn't Google them. I didn't AI it. I just went to the source and got you guys the answers. So look, find out what's going on. Listen to what's being said. Think critically and stay informed. Get familiar with what's happening in your states regarding precious metals, numismatics, jewelry. Look for this kind of stuff. Pedro, what's going on, man? You talk about somebody whose ears were burning. Somebody probably texted him and said, Frosty just mentioned you. You better get in there. I was talking about some of this stuff in a conversation that you and I had the other day, looking at this stuff. But again, folks, read this bill. Understand what the results are. Again, I gave you the breakdown, but go back through and look at it. Try to understand some of the elements that are there. And go find out where the shops that you buy online are located.
Mm-hmm.
And again, some of our friends live in this area. So it could potentially put some people in a bad way. So look at it, check it out, understand what's going on. Again, I'm going to put in 29 likes and only 41 watching. That's horrible. You think people would actually care about losing money? But anyway, looks like a runoff for U.S. Senate for Republicans. Yeah, well, we'll see. It looks like Rubio. What's his name? I cannot think of his name. Why did I just go completely blank? I can't remember his name. I'll think about it in a minute. Yeah, but folks, smash that like, please. We're going to go ahead and wrap up here in a few minutes. Tiger, you have anything you want to add?
Oh, I think I said pretty much all I can think of at the moment. How about you?
No, it's not Pete. It's not John, and it's not Ken. It's for the life of what the hell is it? Tallarico. James Tallarico. There we go. James Tallarico. And I won't get into what his ideals are, but not a huge fan of it. Anyway, Tiger Stacker just gifted 5 members. Let's put Pedro in charge of Colorado. There you go. Vote for Pedro. I will say one thing before we're done. Speaking of vote for Pedro, for those of you who are members, members only. In a couple days, a week, whatever, we're going to figure out and get the time. Pedro and I are going to have a chit chat, a fireside chit chat, and we're going to have a talk. We're going to do it with our members. We will explain what we're going to talk about later. Vote for Pedro's like, you rock, Tiger.
You do too, Pedro.
So, but we'll put some information out. Pedro and I had a really good conversation, and I asked him if it was okay. We talked a little bit about it, and we're going to talk a little bit about community and what needs to happen, and some of the things that we've seen, and what we've been engaged in, and how we've seen things move, and again, just some insights from people who really want to just take some time and chit chat. So we hope you'll join us. If you're not a member, consider it. You don't have to be there. If it gets really good reviews from the members, maybe we'll drop it as something else down the road. We'll talk about that. Not sure. But right now it's going to be set up as a member only stream. I don't do tons of stuff for the members other than include them when I'm doing design elements and changes and do early releases for videos. Story time with Frosty and Pedro, PG-13. Kids welcome with supervision. What's up, OC? How you doing, brother? But him and I talked about this. He's on board with it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So if you are a member, stay tuned, pay attention to that. We'll be dropping stuff, and we will check it out. I am going to wrap stuff off. It is 11:15 here. I've got work at 5 in the morning. I'm going to cut this off and end. I just wanted to share this stuff with you. Again, take the resources that I gave you. Go read it yourself. Go pay attention to it. Go look at the law that's being proposed. Look at the exemptions that are there. Understand what happens when those exemptions are removed. And then make up your own mind. Read this before you go watch a bunch of other channels. And understand where the holes are in their armor.
And don't listen to the AI Asian guy.
Well, and just so I'm going to say something, we won't dwell into AI. But if you don't know your topic, don't use AI. If you can't look at what it says and not know that it's wrong, you should not be using it. AI is a support for work, not a replacement for it. Okay? If you quote AI, you will get stuff wrong. Period. End of a story. And doesn't matter how good it's getting, especially when it comes to bullion, numismatics, and coins. Okay? There's so much trash information out there. It's hard to discern. Do not take AI at its word. I'm telling you, folks, don't do that. Okay? You guys, matter of fact, I'll issue you a challenge. 1922, no D. Give me some information about what AI tells you. Put it in the comment on this video, and we'll talk about it. I'll choose a winner, and I'll send something out to you. Maybe I'll give you one of my special coins. You remember my special coin?
Not sure which one you're talking about.
That one.
Oh, is that the one where it quotes the crow?
Yep. It says, zero, zilch, nada. I officially have no more Fs to give. This is something I do when people point out something of real significance within counterfeits. I'm going to give Jack Young a few of these, and when people give him really solid information regarding a coin or something like that, we'll do that. It's only for counterfeiting. It's only for really good, solid information. Go look it up. The 1922 D cent, Lincoln cent. Go AI it. See what it tells you, and then let's discuss it. We'll tell you what's wrong with it. You can also look the 1969S. That's another great one that's done. Mm-hmm. Frank wants a sticker. Well, guess what? I don't have stickers, but I did just get new magnets in. So Maybe I'll give away a magnet on Saturday. So join me on Saturday. Frank, you got a care package coming, brother. We wanted to say a little thank you for connecting us with Silver Dragons, getting that interview, which was
Exactly.
phenomenal, by the way. That was a lot of fun.
That was. And I sent you an email, Frank, and I think I sent you a copy, Frosty, where I was going to do the same thing you were going to do, send him an ounce as a big thank you for getting us hooked up.
Yep.
So
So
I
we got some
let
goodies
him
coming
know.
your way. I didn't want to tell him, Tiger, but thank you for.
Well, you said in the live stream yesterday.
I told him I was going to send him some.
How would I know if you didn't say it?
We talked about it after. We've been emailing back and forth.
I don't remember that. I remember it being a
It's
live
okay.
stream.
Maybe
Okay.
Frank knows. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. A great time. If you haven't seen it, go over to Tiger Stackers and watch Stack Elector. Oh, but that reminds me, I need to go in and add that to the playlist.
Oh yeah.
Forgot to do that the other day. All right, folks. Well, hey, smash the like, share it out. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to issue a challenge to everybody in chat. Okay. If you are up for a challenge, I want you to put a 1. I'm going to hold you to it. I'll tell you why. Tiger and I are trying to grow our channels. We're trying to grow Stack Elector, but we want to grow our individual channels. But here's what I want. Here's what I want to have happen. When you're listening to a conversation, either mine or Tiger's, and you find that it is of benefit, I'm going to ask that you share it out with 2 people. Just 2. No more. Have them watch. And if they like it, ask them to do the same. And in no time at all, we'll get to those goals. My goal for 2026 is 12,000. I'm at 7.3K. I got a long way to go, and it's already March. So in order to grow, I need my community's help. I need Tiger's community's help. We need Stack Elector's community's help. Same goes for Tiger. We want Tiger's channel to grow. But to do that, we're going to rely on you all. So Tiger and I have talked about doing a couple of things. We've got some surprises coming up to help aid in that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing more members stuff to try and engage more. But again, ultimately, we'll do what we can. But you guys, again, there is nothing better than word of mouth. Okay, it's up to you guys, and we all I can ask is that. All right, folks, I am out of here. You got anything you want to say before we go?
No. Well, do you have any new projects come up they haven't already mentioned?
Yeah, I've got a couple really badass interviews on the horizon.
Okay. Anything, or it's got to stay secret until you release it?
One of them has to stay absolutely secret till I get confirmation.
Okay.
But this one will rock. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a guy coming up to talk about perception. The perception of things. And if you don't know what the perception of things is, go to Instagram and check up a name, Dr. Hobby.
Hobby Lobby?
Hobby. Dr. Hobby was blind from birth. He is a chemist, entrepreneur. He has social media. He's got almost 500,000 subscribers on Instagram. And he talks about the finer things in life, food and smells and senses, and really tries to teach people. We're going to talk about the sense of coins. And a lot of people are like, what the hell does that mean? Not pennies, but coins. And so that's something you're absolutely going to want to see. This is something that nobody's touched on. And it's going to be a ton of fun. I've already talked to him once or twice. He's a brilliant man and done a lot of great things for people with disabilities. So please come over and join us. If any of you have people that are interested in coin collecting and they're like, well, how in the hell am I going to do this because I'm blind, or, you know, I have issues with touch or stuff like that, you know, vote for Pedro. Has no taste, but he still looks at silver. So, you know, But so there's a lot of cool things coming down. Sunday, we're going to have a really fun show regarding how did the people who come on my panel get started? Where did that stuff come from? Again, folks, if you know people that you find fascinating, reach out to us. Let us know, and we will work. Look at what happened with Frank McCain and connecting us with Silver Dragons. Phenomenal episode. Absolutely great. And so you guys, you know lots of cool people with a lot of amazing stories. Let us know, right? We'll bring them on. We'll talk about it. But not every interview ends in a I told you that in confidence, Frosty. Love your Pedro. He is such a hoot. You guys, I'm about story. I'm about history. Okay, Tiger does technical. He absolutely understands. And there are people out there that we want to have on, but we don't have a relationship with them. If you want people on, help us cultivate the relationship. But here's the thing. They have to be on the up and up, 100%.
Exactly.
Because integrity matters. It's what my channel is. So, oh man, Pedro, I love you, brother, but bye.
I thought I was the only one you did that stuff to.
Well, Pedro, he's got this synergy. He knows synergy. So if you guys don't know the story behind that, the 90s and the early 2000s, the word of merit was synergies. And I asked one of the gentlemen, what does synergy mean? He's like, it's that synergistic feeling. I'm like, you had to use the word to answer it. What does it mean? And he's like, it's the feeling. And I'm like, well, what is a feeling? And he's like, oh my God, you're one of those. And I'm like, no, but it doesn't mean anything to me. What is synergy? It's energy. When you steal, when you lie, you're sinning. What the hell is it? And I mean, I've gotten a number of answers over the years, but I can't stand the word. Because it doesn't really mean anything. I just don't like it. It's a pet peeve of mine. So it's like, squeezing the toothpaste from the top or doing the toilet paper roll where it does it by the wall. That's the wrong way. It's annoying. There was a study done about that, Tiger?
About synergy?
No, about the way that the toilet paper comes off. Whether it's over the top or whether it's off the back underneath.
Well, I'm not surprised because hell, they wanted to do studies about all sorts of other crazy things.
Yeah, crazy. JJ, thanks for throwing St. Jude's in there. That's coming up fast. That's a week and a half. Crazy. 2 weekends. Wow. When you meet somebody so on the same vibe as you are, absolutely. And Frank, it's one of those things that it's just, what is the right way? Hold on, I got squirrel. Frank, it's about relationship. That's what community is. Right? It's like Voltron. Wow. That's one I haven't heard for a while. What's up, wrong channel?
I hear they're coming out with a movie on Voltron.
They are. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Yep. Over the top. Yep. Absolutely over the top. And if you want to make it genuinely accurate, then you fold the tip of the last piece that you've done into a triangle. My wife says over the top. Yeah. Oh, about me or about the toilet paper? Toilet paper, she doesn't care. She says I'm over the top. Anyway, hey, folks, I appreciate it. Last minute, late night stream. Just wanted to get you the information on this, give you a few minutes of what we've read, what we understand it to be. Take it straight to the source, give you the information, make up your own mind, think critically, and have conversation. Because conversation is where we grow as a community.
Can I put in a little plug here to let people know what's coming up?
Plug it in, plug it in.
Okay. I have been talking with Daniel Diaz. There have been some other proposed bills that have been coming out that, and Daniel and I are going to talk about it. So, it does affect citizens in gold and silver. If you don't want to go into the details of it, so I want you all to come and see what he has to say. I started investigating it, called him up, say, hey, have you heard about? He knows all about it, so we're going to talk about it even further, and I've even found out more information. So that's coming up. We were planning on Friday, but I think we're going to get rescheduled because Daniel has David Morgan up on Friday evening on his channel. And I'm going to be having interviews that I'm going to edit. Jesse Day, Lynette Zhang, a few others. So then I've got a planned live stream with someone who will remain nameless. We're going to talk about people in the precious metals community and how they're coping when they are afflicted with certain diseases. So, keep your eyes peeled for those things. I want you all to be able to glean as much information because, you might be a person who's afflicted or you might have a family member. So, just wanted to let you know what's coming up.
Outstanding. And again, folks, if you're not subscribed to Tiger Stacker, please go over and do so. We just got him up to about 3150.
Yeah.
Yeah, outstanding. And so make sure you smash that like. Make sure you share this out. If you know anybody in Colorado, send this to them. It's supposed to it'll help them. Let's just say that, okay? JJ put something in there and then I didn't get to catch it. Sears catalog. I remember the Sears catalog. I used to sit on it as a kid.
You did that too?
Absolutely. Tiger who? Oh, C's got jokes. Well, remember, hey, actually, who was it said that, oh, it was Silver Dragons. He says, well, you got to earn your stripes.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
That was a great play. Frostburg, Bologna. Yeah, anyway, hey, folks, I'm going to get out of here. We've been here for just about an hour. For everybody that's here, thank you so much. We got 36 of you watching, only 4 more likes to 50. I appreciate it. But again, what's important? Share it out. Let people know what's here. Tell them what it's about. Tell them why it's important. And remind people, make up your own mind. Think critically, because that's what's going to change our nation. And as a community, guys, we have to do this. Okay? We absolutely have to do it. Last question, Sam. Any updates on where to get the 2026 dime? Yes, the general public. That's where they're at, or you're going to have to buy a set in order to get one. Dirty Water Collectibles just dropped a video saying he found one. I've got some people. I have 4 rolls from Oregon sitting on my desk right now that I need to do a coin search on and see if they're there. Diggin' Dave found a whole box of $50. He's already sold those. Blue Ridge had a few of them. A lot of those folks know people in the industry, so they reach out to their contacts and they get them. But for the average person, just check your pocket change. Go check with your banks, your credit unions. Let them know you're keeping an eye out for them and have them set them aside for you as they get them. Right? And you can always look through coins. So there's a lot of fun. If there's anything you want us to do as stack collectors, let us know. We're going to monitor this and let you know. We'll bring a follow-up to you here in a few days. But hey, folks, take care of yourselves. Be well, be blessed. Be smart. OPSEC matters, especially in today's environment. If you haven't seen the OPSEC video, go see that one. All right, folks, take care. Be well, be blessed.